Hello everyone, welcome to Let's Learn con Mariangel. Another video for you today, but this time it's about vocabulary. Today we're talking about phrasal verbs. Did you hear me? Phrasal verbs. But please do not run. Do not run. I know phrasal verbs are not our best friends and that they can be a little bit difficult to understand. But I will bring you a topic. Today we're talking about phrasal verbs included in a topic which is food. And who doesn't love food? Who doesn't love eating and cooking? Well, maybe not cooking. I don't enjoy cooking, but I do love eating. I'm going to bring you phrasal verbs related to all these topics. Maybe that way it will help you to remember them better. Let's get started with the first phrasal verb. And this one, it comes in a pair. To dig in and to talk in. And to dig in or to talk in, they mean the same thing, which is to start eating. So maybe you have guests at your home and you want your guests to start eating. So you tell them, come on, dig in, or dig in, the food is getting cold. Now, dig in might be a little bit more informal. So if you have guests at home that are more in the formal side, please use talk in. But either way, you can use any. Now, the number two, eat up. Eat and the preposition up. So what does this mean? It means to eat completely the food, to eat everything. You can listen to this, maybe a mom telling her kid, come on, eat up your soup or eat up your meal, because usually children, they don't want to eat all their food. They just don't. They don't like eating. I don't know why. I was like that, so I understand them. And my mom used to tell me, of course in Spanish, she used to tell me, eat up your food. Number three is to drink up, to drink up. So this is basically the same as eat up, but instead of talking about food, we're talking about liquids, drinks. If we have a cup of coffee, I usually drink it up because I love it so much that I always drink it up. I never leave anything. Number four, to sup up. Now practice the pronunciation with me. Here we have a P and then up. Vowel, sup up. Sup up. To sup up means to, how can I explain this? It's something delicious to do. When you are eating something and you remove all the liquid left on your plate. For example, you were having some chicken with gravy that was super delicious, and then you take a piece of bread and you sup it up. And then you eat that piece of bread. To sup up also can mean to remove any liquid, maybe with a paper towel as well. You have to sup up the table because you spilled the milk. But when we are eating, we sup up with a piece of bread, for example, or some kind of cookie. We sup it up. In the coffee, we sup it up. He supped up the gravy on the plate with a piece of bread. That would be my example. Okay, so what number was it? 5. Number 5. Number 5 is to pig out. To pig out. That's right, we're using an animal as a verb. Can you guess what it means? As you may guess, it's not a very nice way of eating. And it's like to eat a lot of everything or an enormous amount of food or something. So when you are eating lots of chocolate, you are pigging out. I pigged out on chocolate. Oh, now my stomach hurts. It's not a very healthy way of eating. So don't pig out on things. Number 6, to wolf down. Or we can also say to bold down. Again, I bring you 2 for the price of 1. To wolf, which is also an animal that we are using as a verb, to wolf down or to bold down. So these 2 phrasal verbs mean to eat something very quickly. You are in a hurry, you need to go to work, so you wolf down your breakfast. These 2 phrasal verbs are regular, so if you want to use them in past, you can say wolfed or bolted. I bolted down my breakfast today because I was running late. Or I wolfed down my breakfast today because I was running late. Now, similarly to these two, it's chow down, to chow down, and usually it comes with the preposition on, which means that you either need to use a noun or a noun phrase. So to chow down on something means that you are eating something very quickly as well, but enthusiastically. So you, in your face or in your behavior while you are eating, you are showing pleasure while you are eating. You are enjoying the food. So maybe a person that hasn't eaten for hours and then you serve them a nice dish, the delicious dish, they would be like, you know, like chowing down on soup or chowing down on burgers. Number 8, to snack on. To snack on. A snack, it's something that we eat between meals, like chips, chocolates, cakes. So when you snack on something, again, we have the preposition on. We need to mention, we need to name the object that we are snacking, we are eating. So to snack on means to eat between meals. You are going to have dinner, you snack before dinner, between the lunch and dinner. That is your snack. You can say, please don't snack on chocolate. Again, I am saying chocolate because that's my favorite snack. Don't snack on chocolate before dinner. Don't snack on anything before dinner. But kids usually do that. They usually want to snack on something and then they don't want to have dinner. They don't want to have the boring vegetables or soup or, you know, meat. They want to have sweets and candies and biscuits. Remember biscuits? If you don't remember that, go to my video, my first video of pronunciation. I'm gonna leave it here or in the description box, okay? Now the next word is number 9, to polish off. To polish off. So to polish off means to eat something completely or to eat something until it is finished. It doesn't say if it is quickly or slowly, you just polish off. So maybe you are eating steadily, but you are enjoying the plate. Wow, you really polished off your dish. Were you hungry? You finished it completely. You didn't leave a grain, a drop, nothing from the food. You left nothing. Again, polish is a regular verb, so you can say polished. Polished, like polishing your car. Polish, you want to polish your car to make it shiny, right? So that's basically what you did with your dish, with your plate. You polished it. It's completely clean. You ate it all. You finished it completely. Now number 10 is to whip up. To whip up. To prepare something to eat quickly. Something that doesn't require a lot of preparation, maybe some scrambled eggs, some quick pancakes, something quickly. You whip up something when you don't have much time, but you're hungry, you still need to cook, so you whip up something. For example, are you hungry? I can whip us up something to eat. I can whip us up something to eat. So notice that I use the pronoun us between whip and up. Whip us up. It's a separable phrasal verb. Now number 11, to cut up. To cut up. And I'm going to explain number 11 along with number 12, which is to chop up. Both of these verbs have similar meanings or the same meaning, which is to cut something in pieces, into pieces. You are cutting them up and you are cutting the entire piece. For example, I have an onion or a potato or a cucumber. You cut all the piece, not just half of the piece, so you cut it completely. However, when you cut up something, you are doing like an incision. You are making an incision into the vegetable, right? So you cut up the vegetable. This is what you're doing. But when you chop up, you have like a strong motion, strokes. So chefs are usually good at chopping things. I can't chop things because I could cut a finger. I don't chop. But if you are good at it and if you have culinary skills, come on, you chop up things. But I can't, I just cut up things. Number 13 is to boil over. To boil over. So you probably know the meaning of boil, which is to heat some liquid until it bubbles. But when you boil over, it means that the liquid rises so much that it spills out of the pot. It flows over the top of the container. So it boils over. Has that ever happened to you? Who hasn't boiled over maybe pasta, right? When you cook pasta, I don't know what it has, but it usually, if you leave it closed, you know, with a lid on top of the container, it will boil over. You need to be careful when you are cooking pasta, not to boil it over. Number 14, to warm up, to heat up. They're the same again. Another pair for you. So I'm giving you extra words, guys. Yeah, I'm being too generous with you. So to warm up or to heat up, it's the same. It means to rise the temperature of something. For example, I'll warm up the soup for you. I'll warm up, or I'll heat up the soup for you. Now, the next is to fry up. To fry up, which it basically means to cook something by frying it. Put some oil and you put some tomatoes or some potatoes inside and you fry them up. That's it. That's the meaning of fry up. The preposition there doesn't change much the meaning of the verb, which is good because that makes it less confusing. The next phrasal verb is to cut into. So what is to cut into? To cut into is when you make a cut or you do an incision, just one, all right, into some food. Usually to check that it's properly cooked. When you are cooking some chicken, you are boiling it, you cut into the chicken to see if it is properly cooked. If you see that it's still a little bit red, it's not. You need to cook it a little bit longer. Or when you already have your plate in there, you want to cut into the meat to see how juicy or how well cooked the meat is. Cut into, only one cut. And to cut up, remember, it means to cut the complete thing. So for example, parents need to cut up into pieces into children's food because they don't know how to do it by themselves. So they cut them up. Cut up, cut into. Hi again, it's me again. My camera ran out of battery. Yes. So I have to record again 3 days later because I hadn't noticed that the camera didn't record the rest of the video. Yeah, I'm a newbie in this, so I have to record it again. And I'm not going to do it all again. So just same clothes, different day. So where were we? The next phrasal verb is to cool down, which basically means to make something hot less hot, to reduce the temperature of something. For example, once you take them from the oven, let the cookies cool down before you eat them. The next verb is to dice up. So when you dice up something, you cut something into cubes. And this is similar to slice up. Slice up means to cut something into slices, like a loaf of bread. You cut it into slices. For example, slice up the onions and I will dice up the tomatoes. Okay, so now let's talk about verbs related to eating in a place. We can eat in or we can eat out. The first one is to eat out. To eat out means to eat outside your house, of course. To eat in a restaurant or at a food stand. You are not eating inside your house. For example, let's eat out tonight. I'm not in the mood of preparing food. Now the next one is to eat in, which is the opposite of this. To eat in means to stay home and eating there. Okay, you are eating at home. You are not eating outside. Yesterday we ate in and had some pizza. The next phrasal verb has to do with eating habits. So the next phrasal verb has to do with eating habits. Your relationship with food. To cut out. To cut out. To cut out means to stop eating something completely, to remove it entirely from your diet. You are not eating that thing anymore. I have cut out alcohol for good. I have cut out alcohol for good. It means that you are not drinking more alcohol anymore. Similarly, we have the verb cut down. But to cut down doesn't mean to remove something completely from your diet, but it means to reduce the amount of food or the amount of consumption you have of that food or drink. For example, my doctor recommended me to cut down on sugar because I'm gaining weight. Similarly, to cut down, we have to cut back on. To cut back on sugar, to cut back on alcohol, to cut back on meat, or to cut back on salt. The last one is to leave on or to leave off something. To leave on or to leave off means to have a particular type of food as the main thing you eat every day. For example, I more or less live on pasta. Alright, this is it for today, my friends. I hope you enjoyed these phrasal verbs and that will help you to remember them better the next time. And now, time for homework. You have to write five sentences using any of these phrasal verbs, the ones that you like the most or the most difficult ones for you. Okay, write them down in the comment box. Like this video if you liked it, of course. If you didn't, don't do anything. And please subscribe to my channel if you haven't done yet. I'll see you next time. And remember, I have my Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, so you can follow me there. See you next time. Bye-bye. Now, you probably know what's the meaning of boil, which is to heat something to the point to boil is to heat. Again, he seems to live off junk food. He seems to live job.